Well, I'm back, y'all, but before I get started with my tortilla soup, I wanted to just get on here and show you real quick what I got in the mail. And this is from Bloomin'. First of all, the other day, I got a shade cloth for my garden. So that's going to come in handy, because you saw in one of my previous videos how I put up that big shade cloth all over that canopy top to help protect some of my plants. So this will come in handy as well. Thank you so much, Bloomin', for that shade cloth. And then here's something that she sent for little buddy. It's a pet brush. So I'm sure little buddy is going to love this. And he's already had breakfast and he's roaming around the neighborhood right now. But I will use it on him. I mean, this is so neat. Look at that. A little pet brush for little buddy. He's going to love that. I mean, if I start using that little pet brush on him as much as he likes to be petted, he'll never want me to stop. I'll have my hands full with little buddy with that little pet brush. So thank you, Bloomin', so much for these two items. I appreciate it so much. And for those of you that have been waiting for my big project to happen, well, the big project fell through. So I'm not going to be able to do the big project that I started. So we'll have to come up with something else later on. There was just a lot of issues, so we're going to have to put that on hold for right now. And we may get back with the project later on. So, but right now, I'm going to get over here and I'm going to finish my tortilla soup. Now, I've got all my ingredients right here. And I'll show you the ingredients as I put them in the pot. But right now, I'm trying to get my chicken out of the pot. Get this camera set back up in here. I'm getting my chicken set up over here, because it's cooked and I've been taking it out of the pot. And when you cook it in a pressure pot for as long as I did, it's going to literally fall apart. Let me straighten this up. That looks a little better. But it will literally fall apart for you. And that's what you want. You don't want it to fall in the floor. And I should have got a bigger bowl, I guess, to put that in. Because I'm going to have chicken water running off the plate. Let me get that piece of chicken up off the floor before I step on it. And I give that to little buddy later. That piece of chicken. That ant's coming in the house. But yeah, like I said, you got to take your chicken out of your water, out of your pot. And it's down to pieces in here because it just fell off the bone. I mean, you can use chicken breast if you want. You can go buy a roasted tier chicken that's already cooked and use that if you want. I use these chicken quarters because it's cheaper. Plus, when I cook my chicken like this, I end up with the chicken broth, and I want the chicken broth in my soup. You need water and chicken broth for your soup. trying to make sure I get all those bones out of there. Definitely don't want bones or anything left in my pot. Now, what I need well, I guess I could have kept my plate over here, because I need something to put all those bones in. And like I said, if you want to use pre-cooked chicken, like get you a roasted chair chicken and use that, just debone it, shred the chicken apart, it's fine to do that. So now I'm just taking my chicken off of the bone. I'm getting all of these scrap pieces that I don't want in my soup, and I'm throwing them in this plate. And I'll probably give some of that to little buddy, because I think he'll love chicken. So but it's still hot, so I got to be careful. And you don't see the plate that I got right down here, but it's just there. I'm putting the chicken scraps in it. The bones and the skin and all that, because I don't want the skin in my soup. I don't know about you, but I don't like boiled chicken skin. That's hot. hot. Talk about a hot tamale, but that is hot. But yeah, you cook it good like that, the chicken just, when you go to take it out of the pot with those tongs or a fork, that chicken is just going to fall off the bone, and that's the way you want it. And you don't have to use 3 of these. I just used 3 because 3 was what was in my package that I had frozen. So 3 pieces of chicken is what went in my soup. I mean, it makes a hearty soup when you put that much chicken in there. But it's so much easier to debone and shred up when it just comes off the bone. It just literally falls off. See how that bone came out clear? I just picked it up and the meat just fell right off of it. And that's what you want to happen, just for it to fall off. But thanks, Bloomin'. I hate it that the project worked out like it did. Bloomin' had sent me a beautiful greenhouse to put together. But with my back and everything, I'm just not able to get it to put together. And I hated for her to spend that kind of money on the greenhouse and then me not be able to do anything with it. I mean, I was pushing it, putting up that awning the other day, but I didn't have to bend over so much to do that. The bending over is what gets my back with my injuries, so I have to be careful. And I said later down the road, you know, she may want to use that money that she saved on that greenhouse for herself, or, you know, she may want to send up something else to me in the future. So it was a beautiful gesture on her part, and I appreciate her loving kindness so much. Woo, that is hot. It's hotter down in the bottom of the bowl, y'all. just reminds me, it makes me almost look like or feel like I'm trying to fix chicken and dumplings, doing my chicken this way. Yeah, that's actually what Bloomin' sent that shade cloth for, was that greenhouse. But like I said, I'm not going to be able to put it up, so. I wanted her to have her money back. I mean, I'm still doing my garden and, you know, all that, but the only basically thing I used my greenhouse for most of the time was to start my roses in, because I'd start my rose cuttings over the winter, and they don't require that much sun anyway, so I would put them in the greenhouse over the winter for them to start rooting. And you know, those are the ones that we planted that are doing so well. I know all of them didn't make it, but you know, a lot of them did, and I saved probably $200 or more in starting those roses myself rather than buying a plant already rooted. Let's face it, you know, stuff like that is expensive today. Yeah, my son was going to come over and help me put the greenhouse together, but I decided in the long run, I really don't need that greenhouse, and I'd rather Bloomin' have her money back. I mean, she can always send me something that she wants me to have later on. It's not a problem. Yeah, I really do appreciate you, Bloomin'. You are a sweet lady. A very sweet and generous person. You're a friend that everybody is lucky to have. Put it that way. A dear friend that anybody would be lucky to have as a friend. Gotta dry my hands off, y'all. And I'm gonna switch burners, I think, because I've got to get something else started here. I'm gonna put a couple of tablespoons of oil in my pan. Turn it on. And I'm going to saute about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of diced onions and about a tablespoon of garlic. And like I had said before, you know, when you saute your onions, it helps bring out the flavor in those onions that really tastes good. Looks like I'm gonna have to get me some diced garlic because I'm about out. My jar is almost empty. Put this over here and give little buddy a little bit of a scrap chicken. I know he'll love that. I won't give him any of the bones though. Oh, I'm thirsty. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Now also you're going to need 3 1/4 tablespoons of flour. You want to cook your onions a little bit first. Saute them in with your garlic. You don't want it too high because it'll burn. But you do need to saute them a little. And I'm going to turn my pot back on that's got my chicken in it. That's going to be a good soup, y'all. It's just loaded with chicken. It's going to be so good. Yeah, I mean, to have a friend like Bloomin', oh my God. You are worth $1 million, lady. How many people that don't even know you will just send you a greenhouse to put together? I mean, there's not many people that will do that. And I thank her every day for doing that. I mean, that was so much love to do that. This is going to make a great old big pot of tortilla soup, I'll tell you. I'm going to have to freeze part of it because there's no way I can eat all this. I messaged my son this morning and I said, hey, I'm cooking a great big old pot of tortilla soup today. You and Regina come help me eat it. I haven't heard a response from him though. I should have cut it down a little bit, not fix so much, but I said, oh well, it can be frozen. You can take part of it, put it in little containers and freeze it, take it out later. So it's not going to go to waste. And I'm going to put about half of my flour in there and start browning it right with my onions and my garlic. I have to put a little bit more oil in there. You're basically sauteing your onions and your garlic, and then you're putting flour in there to make a roux is what they call it. And then what that does, and then put the rest of your flour in. And what that does, it thickens up your soup. I had made what they call a roux for many years when I was younger, before I even knew what they called it. I just knew that was the way you did your gravy and your other dishes to thicken up your sauce. And then later in life, I found out it was called a roux. I said, well, rippity-doo, you know. It's called a roux. Now, I got that done. I'm simply going to dump it right in my pot with my chicken and continue on cooking. I'm also going to add, I think, a can of this, it's called vegetable and bean blends. It's a Mexican style. It has corn, pinto beans, or red beans as they call it, red bell pepper, salt, and a hint of chili pepper. That's the easier way to do it, rather than have your pinto beans separate. Chop up your chili and, you know, your chili beans and all that. I mean, your chili peppers and your red pepper. In fact, I'm going to put 2 cans of that in there. If you don't want all that in there, all you got to do is put you a can of kernel corn, whole kernel corn, and take it from there. But I did the mixture because it's got all my ingredients in the can, and I don't have to get it all separately. Then I'm going to put in a can of Rotel tomatoes. I guess you can see that. And I'm going to put in a can of diced tomatoes. This has jalapenos, onion, and cumin in it. Give that a good stir. And I'm going to put in about a level tablespoon of my cowboy candy, which is nothing but candied jalapenos. That way the chopping of the jalapenos is already done. And I'm going to put in about a half a cup of cilantro, chopped fresh cilantro. Sticks to your fingers. Give that a stir. Now, I've got to give this a taste because I don't know what else kind of season to put in it. That is so good. I'm going to put in probably a teaspoon of salt. I mean, you have to season it to your taste. If you don't want salt in it, don't put salt. If you want more than what I put in there, put more. It's up to you. And I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of black pepper. Not much. Give that another stir. Give it a taste again. That's just about right. Because I don't want it real salty. I try to stay away from a lot of salt. And I'm sure a lot of you do that as well. But now that's got to cook some. While that's doing that, I'm going to put my ingredients away. And if I went through all the ingredients too fast, you can just replay the video and get the ingredients, I guess. Let's see if little buddy's out here. I don't think he is. No, he's not. But I brought his dish in because I don't want the ants to get to it. And I'll just add him some chicken to his bowl when he comes back later to get more food. Because he'll come and he'll eat, and if I'm not in the yard, he doesn't hang out too much. If I'm in the yard, he stays right there and follows me around. That's the reason I always called him my little buddy. It's because he does try to follow you around the yard if you're out there. I was hoping you could see in the pot, but I don't think you can. But you saw all the ingredients. This has got to cook for at least 20 or 30 minutes. And then we can plate it up, and I'll show you how I serve it. It's got to come to a real good boil. Oh. And you'll need some cheddar cheese. Now some people, this is an 8-ounce package of cheddar cheese. Some people will just dump this. I thought it was zipped up and it's not. Some people would just dump that whole bag right in the pot. And I guess I just as well put that little bit in there that dropped on the stove, hadn't I? The stove is clean. I'm going to switch my pot again because I dropped that cheese. This is real life cooking, y'all. Accidents do happen. But I wanted to get that cheese out of there before it melted onto my stove and burnt, because then it would be really hard to get out of there. Some of it landed right on the burner. But I tore open the bag and I thought the bag was sealed. I didn't realize it was open like that. And I was about to pour my cheese right on in my soup. Yeah, some people you can either put that bag of cheese in your soup and just let it all melt down, stir it in while it's cooking, or you can serve it as a garnish on top of your bowl of soup with your chips. It's whichever way you prefer to do it. Now, since I got that mess cleaned up, I won't have burnt cheese on my stove. I'm just going to leave it here. But like I said, you do have options with your cheese, and I bought a bag of tortilla chips because I didn't want to go to the trouble and fry chips. So I just bought a bag of tortilla chips, white ones. You can get corn if you want. And like I said, some people will crumble their chips up, put it in the soup right along with their cheese, and just cook it all together. And by the time they serve it, the chips will soak up a lot of the moisture from the soup. Or you can put your chips and your cheese in your bowl and then put your soup on top of it. Just ladle it right on top. It'll do the same thing. It'll melt your cheese down and it will soak in your chips. And then you garnish with a little bit of cilantro. And I don't have room up here. So that's why I didn't mind throwing that cheese in there, because you can go ahead and throw your cheese in if you want. It's just totally up to you. And I may go ahead and do that. Because I love cheese. I love anything with cheese in it. And I keep getting chicken wrapped around my spoon. In fact, I may put just a little bit in there. About half of it, maybe. I'll save the other part to put on top of it. Make sure that is sealed so I don't fling it around and dump it out again. How long my video has been going on. But that cheese in there is going to give it a really good flavor. And I had an avocado. It's good to serve avocado with it if you have it. I thought I did have one. Yeah, I got one. But mine may be too ripe. I don't know. Let me cut it open and I'll see. We'll see if it's too ripe. I hate it when they put cabinets and microwaves or anything like that right over the top of your stove. I mean, to me, that's an accident waiting to happen. This might be too ripe. I may not be able to use it. Well, most of it's okay. Go ahead and put that pit. Well, I'm dropping everything, y'all. Pick that spoon up. I'm going to step on it and it's going to cause me to break my neck. And I'm trying to peel my avocado because I want the pieces whole. the halves whole because I want to slice them the long way. Yeah, I bought this the other day to go in a salad, and I never fixed the salad, so my avocado was still in the refrigerator. But I've got halves, you know, avocado halves, and I'm just going to slice them the long way, kind of like you would cut up an onion in wedges. And I'm also going to put that in a bowl. I don't know why I didn't use a bowl to begin with. Because I want to put lemon juice on it. If you put lemon juice on your avocado, it helps it keeps it from turning as brown as fast. So I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of lemon juice on my avocado. Have to get me another bowl now. Put my soup in, because that's going to be my lunch. Reaching overhead, and my blouse keeps going to my neck. But you cook it about 15, 20, 30 minutes or so, and that's just for all those flavors and the spices and the juices to get to know one another. And just kind of flip your avocado pieces around in that lemon juice to get them coated good so it doesn't turn as brown quite as fast. But you see, I got some avocado wedges in there. But I got my pinto beans, I got my red peppers, I got my tomatoes, all my ingredients in that pot, and it's just simmering right now. That water's good. If you want a thicker soup, you can just add more flour. But it should thicken up on its own if you cook it for, say, 20 minutes with what flour we already, what roux we put in there already. But don't that look good, y'all? I know you can see the pot. You can see the top. You can see what's in there. Yeah, I'll have tortilla soup to eat for a while, just like I had Zita. I've still got a little bit of Zita in the refrigerator that I haven't eaten yet. I knew by the time I got through with that whole pan of Zita, I'd be kind of sick of eating it. But you can freeze that as well. You can put it in a container and freeze it. Just like you can freeze this soup. So there'll be days that I won't have to cook because I'll have soup already made. Guys, it's only like noon and it's a little 5 minutes after 1 and I'm tired already. Tired already. I had something on my leg. I'll rinse these off while I'm standing here. Yeah, my avocado's a little brown to begin with because it was, getting too ripe. But it's still okay to put on my soup. And this is kind of a low-calorie soup. I mean, it's diet-friendly. But if you get your fresh avocado and wait till you get ready to serve it before you cut it, you don't have to worry about it turning brown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a handful of my tortilla chips in my bowl. And you can crumble them if you want, break them up a little bit. Not going to put a whole lot, but put a little bit in there. cook just to simmer just a little bit more. And like I said, if you want, you can either top your soup with your cheese, and I think I'll do that because I'm going to top it with my cheese and my avocado. If it doesn't completely turn brown on me. Like I said, some of it was kind of ripe anyway, so that's why it's a little brown. It's still okay. Yes, you can see here. Adjust the camera just a bit and see my bowl. See, I've got a little bit of the tortilla chips in my bowl, kind of crushed a little. I didn't break them up too small, but they're about a quarter of the size they were. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. I'm going to take a ladle and just ladle it on the top of my chips. Now, don't that look good? I know y'all can see that from there. Put a little bit of cheese. Put a couple of avocado wedges. And y'all, there is my version of tortilla soup. Y'all have to try some. And I've got to taste it. Even though I kind of tasted it when it was cooking. Dear Lord, bless our food we're about to receive today. Bless the YouTubers out there. Keep them safe and well. I wish all of them prosperity and happiness. Amen. Don't know where to start. It looks so good. But like I said, you got to take the first bite. Don't that look good? And I'm not under the good light, so you can't really see it, but that's some good stuff right there. That is so good. Fix you some tortilla soup, y'all. It's good. Got some of that. I got a hot pepper in my throat. But other than that, it's fantastic, y'all. I tell you, when you see my videos, you see my bloopers, my mistakes and everything. But I'm trying it now with a little bit of cheese and avocado on it. I know it's going to be so good. That is so good, y'all. Try you some some tortilla soup. Get some of the chips from down in the bottom. And it's hot. This is amazing. You got to try it. Get a better look at it right there. There you go, y'all. Tortilla soup made the easy way. With that, please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye now.